Yo, what's good, people, man? It's been a busy day of recording for me today, and I have enough caffeine in my system. It could probably make a dead body start dancing. So I'm going to try and keep the intro short today and jump straight into the video. You know what the video is about from the title and the thumbnail. Today, I'm making my second, technically third, FPL draft of the season. This time, we're focusing on premium forwards. If you want to see our first draft, that video is already up on the channel. I gave a little breakdown for every team, but at the time of recording, certain players which you'll see featured in today's team were not out on the game yet, so let's jump straight into it. If you watched that first video, you can see our first draft on the screen is looking a bit different to the actual first draft that we did. You can see additions in there. Danny Welbeck now up front. I believe in the first draft we had Jared Bowen up there. We'll speak about him today, definitely in depth too. Looking at the forwards, we've got Cole Palmer now in the midfield with Savinho. They are new additions. And Robert Sanchez and Lewis Skelly at the back, also new additions. But we are going to mess up this whole team. I'm going to remove every player apart from the 4 million keeper because our sub keeper is always going to be 4 million. We can also leave in Luke O'Neill because why not? Sunderland till I die. But yeah, man, today we're going to start with the forwards, build a 3 triple threat forward line and see how the rest of the team looks around that. Usually I start with me midfield in fantasy football. So today I'm looking at the strikers and let's jump into it without further ado. So most expensive forward on the game this year is Erling Haaland for what, 2, 3, 4 seasons in a row. How long's he been here now? 4 seasons in a row. He's going to be the most expensive striker. Only 6th last season in points scored, though he obviously was injured for a bit. Didn't have his best season. That's crazy to say when he scored 20 goals. Not his best season when he scored 22 goals is wild to say. I think a lot of people are overlooking Haaland, and it's ironic for me to say because we're going to overlook him too in this draft. The first player I want to put in this team is the top point scorer from last year's forwards, Alexander Isak, a man whose name is in the headlines every single day because of a potential move to my team, Liverpool Football Club. We'll get into that in a moment. As it stands, though, he is at Newcastle. He's going to be our first forward in this triple threat lineup. The second player we are going to go ahead and add to this lineup, the man whose face was in the thumbnail, or at least half of it, Viktor Gyokeres is now on the game. He was not on the game when I made my first FPL draft, so we couldn't speak about him. But Man United away on game week 1, Leeds at home on game week 2. Gyokeres has the chance to hit the ground running here before he faces my team, Liverpool and City 2 weeks after that. Tough games coming up, but Arsenal need a goal scorer. They've gone and signed one, and we are putting him straight into our FPL team. 19.5 million invested in 2 players already in the forward line. And the third premium forward I want to add to this forward line is going to be Hugo Ekitike from my team, Liverpool. Uncertain how this is going to look. I'll break this down in a minute, the thought process behind this. I call him a premium option because he's 8.5 million, which is quite a lot. But let's talk about it, man. There's a lot of good options in forward this year, so a lot of people are focusing on the midfield. There's a lot of good options in the midfield too. I've got a video coming soon, by the way, looking at the midfield 7 million options. There are so many good options at that price point in the midfield on fantasy football this year. We might even talk about it in today's video once we get to our midfield. But today we're focusing on the forward line. Again, I never heavily invest in my forward line in FPL. Reason being, if you are new to fantasy football, midfielders get more points for goals than strikers do. Forwards get 4 points, midfielders get 5 points. So there's a lot more points to be had in the midfield, obviously, if you can find a good goal-scoring midfielder. Someone like Mohamed Salah, who is down as a midfielder, even though he plays, obviously, as a forward on the wing for Liverpool, but it counts as a midfielder in FPL. Salah's always the first name on the team sheet in my FPL drafts because I'm a Liverpool fan. I like to have 3 Liverpool players in there at all times, or, well, at least 2 Liverpool players in my team at all times because it's fun to watch your team win in real life. It's double fun for your team to win and your FPL team to do well. Double fun is crazy, by the way. But yeah, man, going with the big investments up front in this draft, we're not going to have Salah in the midfield. I don't think we'll be able to afford that. But we do have some Liverpool coverage up front. Let's talk about it. The elephant in the room, Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike. Ekitike being Newcastle's #1 target in this transfer window. Liverpool said, we want Isak as our #1 target. Newcastle said, no, you're not having Isak and we're getting our #1 target. Liverpool turned around and said, well, we'll take your #1 target and your best player too. So we signed Ekitike. We're also still looking to sign Alexander Isak. Hopefully this video doesn't age too poorly. It'll just be my luck. I'll upload this video and the next day Isak will sign for Liverpool. But it is something to consider with this draft. I think at 10.5 million, if Isak does sign for Liverpool, it's a no-brainer. You're in my team for the whole season and I won't remove him unless he gets injured, which obviously fingers crossed he doesn't, whether he plays for us or not. I'd never wish injury on players. I've put Hugo Ekitike in there, 8.5 million. I've never seen the guy play. I'll hold my hands up right now and say, I've never watched this guy play. I don't even play Ultimate Team anymore, so I don't even know who this guy is. I know he got a team of the season and a good few cards. I looked them up afterwards. A lot of people were saying, if we sign Isak, Isak's going to play down the middle and Ekitike's going to play off the left. But from what I've seen of Ekitike, just by looking at him, he looks like a striker. You know, he's like 6'4", long limbs. He looks like an NBA superstar. He doesn't strike me as a winger. But on FIFA, he's got good dribbling stats. So maybe he can play on the wing. It's not even in his positions on FIFA though. But this is what I'm hearing from fellow Liverpool fans, is that Ekitike will play off the left. Who knows if he does actually come in to be a starter. It was a big price tag. But like I mention all the time, we paid big for Darwin Nunez, and look what happened to him. So this is definitely a risk, putting Ekitike in there and Isak. But I think if we don't get Isak, Ekitike should get a lot of game time, especially up front, down the middle for Liverpool. And that's a nice price point, I think, to buy into the Liverpool attack, especially if we don't have Salah, because we've got 2 goal scorers next to him. Also picking up Isak if he remains at Newcastle. You know, he might be unsettled, might not play as well, or might not play at all if he refuses to play because they didn't sell him. But Aston Villa and Liverpool's game week 1 and 2, it's tough, but Isak can score against anyone, pretty much. You saw what he did last season. 23 goals, 6 assists. Unbelievable. Game week 3, 4, and 5 as a back-to-back triple. Leeds away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away. I fancy him to score in all 3 of those games there before you get to Arsenal at home, which is a tough game, but still, the fixtures are nice for Newcastle, is basically what I'm trying to say, especially for Alexander Isak to go and get some goals. So I think regardless of whether Isak signs to Liverpool or not in this draft, he's going to stay in there for me. Ekitike is the one to question, though. If we do sign Isak, does Ekitike start alongside him? Who knows? We've got Bournemouth at home on the first day. I've got a breakdown video coming soon for that matchup right there. I can't wait to make that video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I forgot to say, like and subscribe if you're new to the channel for more FPL and football content. I forgot to do my job as a YouTuber. Like, comment, share, subscribe, you get me? Anyway, we have Newcastle away game week 2. That'll be ironic if Isak does sign. We're playing at St. James's Park. Oh my God, the headlines are written already. That is beautiful. Arsenal at home, tough game, but man, Burnley away. We've got the Merseyside derby early on, game week 5 this season. I think Liverpool are just fixture-proof anyway because it's my team, Liverpool. We're going to win the league this year. We're probably only going to lose maybe 2 games max in the Prem. This is a lot of waffling about just these 2 strikers. We haven't even got to the third guy yet, but this is the main focus of the video, so I'm going to keep talking some more. One thing I do want to point out, for anyone who is unfamiliar with fantasy football, whether it's your first time playing or whether you've been playing for years and you've just never been put in this position before, as it stands, Isak is obviously a Newcastle player, and who knows if Liverpool will sign him or not. Let's say, just for argument's sake, we do sign him, and let's just for an example throw in Luis Diaz and Mo Salah to our team. So our 3 Liverpool players, you can only have 3 players obviously from one club. We have Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, Ekitike. We also have Alexander Isak in our team. So we can submit this team now with 3 Liverpool players in there max. If Isak joins Liverpool, he'll automatically become a Liverpool player in the game, and we'll have 4 Liverpool players in our team. Now that's uncharted territory for a lot of FPL managers. If you've never been in that position before and you want to know what happens, if you have 4 players from the same team in your fantasy football team, you can't join any new leagues, and your next transfer has to be a Liverpool player out, or whatever team it is. You have to transfer out one of your 4 players because you can only have 3 from the same team. So what you could do if you really want to, if you're not going to touch your FPL for the whole season, you can have 4 Liverpool players in there, including Isak. Throw in Salah, Gyokeres, Frimpong, and Isak. When Isak joins us, you'll have 4 Liverpool players. Join all your leagues before that transfer happens, and you can leave your team for the whole season with 4 Liverpool players. I wouldn't advise it though. Just thought I'd shed some light on that topic in case anyone was wondering what actually happens there. But let's move on to our third striker. I think I've said enough about Isak and Ekitike. Viktor Gyokeres. This guy last season scored 68 goals in 64 games. That is ridiculous. Arsenal need a striker. They were playing Mikel Merino at striker last season. He actually did well there, scored a lot of goals. And that's a good sign for Viktor Gyokeres, because if Mikel Merino can score goals for Arsenal playing up front, what can this guy do, who scored 68 goals in 64 games? With Man United at home on game week 1 and Leeds away on game week 2, I've already said Gyokeres has the chance to hit the ground running and be one of those players that instantly moves in price. I think if Gyokeres scores against Man United, his price is going to be 9.2 by the time he plays Leeds at home in the next game. This is going to be a thing to watch in FPL this year. The bandwagons are so annoying. So you want to try and get in early with these players, especially at big price points like 9 mil for Gyokeres. That's a lot of money to have up as a forward. Just to compare that price to some of the other forwards, we mentioned a lot in my last draft video about Yohan Wissa, Mateta at the same price, 6.5. Also, João Pedro is at 7.5, sorry. But also Jared Bowen just above at 8 mil. Dominic Solanke, I like his price point at 7.5 this year. Chris Wood also 7.5. There's so many options in that 7.5 region. But you have Ollie Watkins at 9 mil, who just creeps out of that category there. Aston Villa do have an actual nice run of fixtures. I'm seeing Brentford, Crystal Palace, they're probably going to struggle this year. Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley as a triple in game weeks 5, 6, and 7. That's looking nice for Ollie Watkins, I can't lie. But in terms of FPL points at the 9 million price range, I think Gyokeres is the more exciting pick. I can't lie. I'm doing this out of pure, not even like analysis. This is pure vibes. Now, obviously, 68 goals in all comps. I'm not expecting Gyokeres to do that because he's in an actual good football league this year, the Premier League. No offense to any Portuguese football fans. But the second top goal scorer in that league was Greek. And one of the biggest obstacles that Gyokeres might face this year is Bukayo Saka. Now, what does that mean? 68 goals for Viktor Gyokeres. 20 of those goals, which is quite a significant percentage. 20 of those goals were penalties. I would imagine moving to Arsenal, he's not going to be a penalty taker. That will be Bukayo Saka. Now, will that affect his goal tally at the end of the season? Arsenal fans, any watching? How many goals do you realistically expect Gyokeres to score this season? Are you looking for 20? Are you looking for over 20 goals? Are you looking for 10 to 15, 15 to 20? What's the range that you're looking for, Arsenal fans, from this guy? I think 15 goals is realistic as a minimum that you need from him. If you want to try and compete and win the league this year, I think you need 15 to 20 goals. Will he be able to break 20 without penalties? We'll have to wait and see. But I think that forward line is fresh. It's exciting. It's got me feeling nicey. Look at that. Alexander Isak, Gyokeres, and Ekitike. If Isak does join us, we're going to have 3 red shirts up front. That screams danger to me. Now, what can we do in the midfield with this strong, expensive forward line? I think the first answer, we're going to have to look at some budget options. And let's drop to that 7 million price point, which I did mention earlier on. Let's talk about it, man. £7 million midfielders. Fancy football. Don't know why I said it like that. But it's a big price point this year. There are so many players priced at 7 mil and just under. You can see the third player right there, 6.5 million for Jacob Murphy. Will even be a starter. We'll discuss that in a moment. But there are so many players at this price point that I like. It's a nice price. It's not too expensive. It's not too cheap. You can see on the screen right now, we are drafting our premium forward line draft, which we're going to miss out players like Mo Salah, Cole Palmer. We're probably going to have a few of these 7 million midfielders in here to afford that expensive front line. But who do you go with at this 7 million price point? That is the question. For more fancy football and just regular football, Premier League, real life sports content, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. Follow me on socials. I post a few TikToks, mainly clips from these videos, so you're not really missing out. If you don't follow me, I shouldn't say that. Go and follow me, get the numbers up, subscribe, hit the like button. You get me. I think logically, let's start at the top, work our way down. Let's talk about Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth play Liverpool on game week 1. It's not good. Not good. Not a good fixture. Bournemouth have lost a lot of players as well, especially in the defence, and they might still lose more. But going forward in the attack, Antoine Semenyo, he is gearing up to have a breakout year. I mean, last year you could call it a breakout. 11 goals, 7 assists. I can see another year of double-digit goals for Antoine Semenyo. 7 million is a nice price. In that same midfield, though, at the same price, and the player that I'm probably going to put in this draft, Justin Kluivert, 12 goals, 6 assists for him last year. I can see him again getting between 15 goals and assists on the season, double digits, possibly in goals and assists. If he can get 10 goals plus 10 plus assists, that'll be a sensational season for Kluivert from Bournemouth, and they need him to do it. He needs to put the team on his back, and I'm going to put him in as our first £7 million midfielder to the team. We spoke in depth about Alexander Isak, and I think Newcastle signed Anthony Elanga from Nottingham Forest to appease Isak, obviously his Swedish national teammate, and Isak might still leave, but double-digit assists last season for Anthony Elanga. If you ever watched any of Nottingham Forest games last year, this guy, oh man, he's an electrifying player. Every time I saw him get on the ball, got me feeling nicey. I'm putting Anthony Elanga in our team at £7 million. We might just fill this whole team with £7 million midfielders, honestly. The next player I want to highlight at the £7 million price point is Morgan Rogers. I spoke about Watkins a bit earlier in my team draft video. I think Aston Villa have a good chance to finish top 7 in the Prem this year, top 6 even, and their fixtures to start the season are looking nice, bro. I'm seeing Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley back-to-back as a trio in game weeks 5, 6, and 7. That screams points. Morgan Rogers was in my team last year from the beginning of the season, and he didn't leave. He was $5 million to start the season. He's got a big price increase to $7 million, and he probably deserves to be around that price with 8 goals, 11 assists. I will say, though, he did feel a bit inconsistent last year in FPL, but you let it slide because of his price point. But if he does the same thing again this season at 7 mil, you're going to be looking to transfer him out, I think. But Villa have good fixtures. He's going in the team. Next up is Jacob Murphy, third highest scoring midfielder at this price point from last season. 8 goals, 13 assists. Crazy season for Jacob Murphy. Only 6.5 as well, a bit cheaper than everyone else we've mentioned. But Anthony Gordon, you'd imagine, is the starting left winger. You'd imagine Anthony Elanga. Oh, Anthony squared. You'd imagine Alanga's going to be the starter over on the right wing. Jacob Murphy gets dropped for the season. Harvey Barnes on the bench too. Newcastle have a lot of options. Now that is a problem for FPL managers because it means rotation is scary. Especially with Newcastle being in Europe this season. Going to be a lot of games, a lot of tough games, high demand for this Newcastle team, and you'd imagine rotation might come, especially in the league. So Anthony Elanga even going into our FPL team is a bit of a risk. Same with Jacob Murphy. If you pick one of those players, it is a bit of a risk. Next player to highlight, Kevin Schade, famously known as Sade. Love Deluxe, one of my favourite albums of all time. Double-digit goals for him last season. What a season he had. And Brentford have just lost their top goal scorer, Brian Mbeumo, to Manchester United. So they've lost 20 goals there with Mbeumo going. They need goals. Where are they going to get it from? Wieser, of course, will probably hit around 20, especially now he'll take over penalty duties from Mbeumo. But Kevin Schade, he has the chance to have a breakout season yet again. Double-digit goals. Maybe even, I mean, he only got 4 assists last season. You look 5+ assists for him. It's a good season. Only problem is, with Brentford losing so many players, Mbeumo included, they've lost Norgard, obviously, to Arsenal too. Are they going to struggle this season? I've got a Premier League prediction video coming out just before the start of the season where I predict the whole league table, which we can look back on after 38 game weeks and laugh at how little I know about football. Or maybe I know everything. Maybe I already know the script. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see. But I do have Brentford predicted very low in the Premier League table this season. I think they are going to struggle heavily. So putting a player in your FPL team who, for a team you think is going to struggle heavily, is that a good idea? Doesn't sound like one. In a similar vein to Kevin Schade, where we need them to step up, or Brentford fans need them to step up because they have lost a big goal scorer, Brighton have lost João Pedro. Moment of silence because I love João Pedro. I also love, though, Kaoru Mitoma. 6.5 mil for him, so we're dropping down a little bit. Mitoma has the chance to just free reign now. He did it a lot last season, to be fair. That's how he ended up with 10 goals. But you remember, Pedro was injured for a while. Danny Welbeck was injured for a while. Mitoma is a guy who they need to rely on Brighton if they want to stay in the Premier League. Their fixtures don't look too bad to start off. You have Fulham, Everton, Man City, but then Bournemouth afterwards. Could be a nice start to the season for Mitoma, especially at that price point, 6.5. It's not bad. The beauty of putting in these £7 million midfielders too, as I break the fourth wall and open up OBS by accident. The beauty of putting in the 7 million midfielders, you can always drop them to one of these 6.5s if you do want to. The next player who I want to talk about is also 6.5 mil. His name is Iliman Ndiaye. I think I said it right. Everton start off with newly promoted Leeds away on opening day, then Brighton, who might struggle, Wolves, who I've got struggling too. Ndai, I think, might be Everton's pen taker too. I think if Everton score this year, it's going to come from Ndai. And at 6.5 million, I'm not mad at that price tag at all. I think he might actually be undervalued, which is crazy to say, because what did he get last season? 9 goals, no assists. Damn, yeah, okay. Maybe he's not that good of an option. But I expect double digits from Ndai. If not double digits, at least get a few more assists this season. But it's hard for Everton to score goals. That's been their problem. We have one of Arsenal's new signings in the team already, Viktor Gyokeres up front. Another Arsenal new signing, £7 million on FPL. Noni Madueke. I'm a fan of Madueke. I think they've signed him to replace Martinelli over on the left wing. Will he be a rotation bench player, come in and out of the team? Will he be a starter? I don't know. That's why I'm staying away from Madueke, but I do like him. I saw Arsenal fans fuming at this signing. I don't understand that, because I think Madueke is a good player and probably better than Martinelli. So, I like it. If he's a starter, might be a good option. Someone I do think is a good player at the 6.5 million price point and probably going to go in our team. Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. We've overlooked Cole Palmer in this draft. We've overlooked João Pedro. We need some Chelsea cover. I think we're going to go with Enzo Fernandez at 6.5 mil. Enzo got some good stats last year. 6 goals, 8 assists. I expect him to continue in this midfield, the little free roaming role that he has in that Chelsea midfield. He can do what he wants, really. Getting forward. Chelsea, great fixtures as well. Palace, West Ham, Fulham, Brentford to start the season. That's 4 wins right there. Also this year, midfielders, well, all players get defensive points. Enzo Fernandez, I guess he plays in that double pivot role, doesn't he? He's probably going to pick you up some nice clean sheet points, 10 clean sheets last season, but also this new clearances, blocks, interceptions point system. I imagine Enzo Fernandez might pick up a good few points from there. We're probably going to play 3-4-3. We've got 3 up front already with the premium strikers. We've got 4 in the midfield. Now we need a goalkeeper and 3 defenders. I forgot one more player at the 7 mil price point. That is Savinho from Man City. I think we need a root in the City team. We're not having Haaland, not having a City midfielder. I think Savinho might be our way into the Man City attack. 1 goal last season, but 11 assists. I expect a big increase in output from him in the goals department this year. And at 7 mil, I'm not mad at that price. But if you haven't seen my Man City rant yet, it's up on the channel. I hate picking Man City players in FPL because you never know who's going to start. But I think Savinho might be nailed on. But I hate saying nailed on with Man City. You never know. I'm going to take out Elanga, put Savinho in, because both of them are rotation risks. But I like Savinho better than Elanga, I think, for this season. 5.5 mil for Moises Caicedo is not a bad price. I just touched on that defensive point system which has been added this year. I don't know how much of an impact that's actually going to have. I can't remember the threshold is. I think it's 10 blocks, clearances and tackles, something like that, per game to get maybe 1 point. So I don't know how much of an impact it actually will have, but Caicedo at 5.5 could be an option. He's going to get you a goal. He averages 1 goal a season pretty much every year. Yeah, every year he's been in the league, he's averaged 1 goal a season. And you're going to get at least 2 assists from the season. So might be a good option, even as your 5th midfielder for the bench, if you have money left over. And I'm trying to move on. I really am, to our defence, but one more midfielder to highlight. Mohamed Kudus. I actually really like this pick at 6.5 million. We mentioned a few other 6.5s before. I think this might be the best pick in the 6.5 million category, especially playing newly promoted Burnley on opening day. City away game week 2. Obviously, you're not expecting points there, really. Bournemouth and West Ham and Brighton back-to-back with Wolves, Leeds. Oh my days. Kudus getting the team. That's an insane run for Tottenham. Dominic Solanke up front might be a big shout too, but we're looking at more expensive forwards in this draft. I'm putting Kudus in the team. Now we have 5 midfielders, which we don't need. So let's see what defence we can make. We only have 30 mil left to make this defence. For goalkeeper, I'm playing no games. We're going 4.5 million. We're going to go with Kelleher, ex-Liverpool man. He's playing now for Brentford. I don't really care about fixtures or clean sheets with this pick. This is purely a saves pick. Goalkeepers get points based on saves. I think Brentford will concede a lot of shots this year, but I think Kelleher is a good enough shot stopper to get us some good points from those save bonus points that you get. Now we have 25.5 million. I don't even know if we can get a good defense with that. Let's look at some 5 million defenders. There's a few that I fancy at the 5 million price point. One of them being Levi Colwill, a good route into the Chelsea defence who should be solid defensively this year. I think Colwill should be a starter at centre-back for Chelsea, and at 5 million, I'm not mad at that. Another good option in the defence, I think, is Tino Livramento. Should be the starter at right back, you'd imagine, for Newcastle. And there's rumours of him transferring to Manchester City, which is even more attractive of an option. Again, Villa and Liverpool game weeks 1 and 2. Not expecting clean sheets there. Maybe he can get himself forward, snag an assist. He doesn't really get many attacking returns, though, does he? But Leeds, Fulham, Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, game weeks 3, 4, 5. That's nice. And at 5 mil, I do like that pick. We do have some money left over to play with here, so let's go up into the 6 million range, the most expensive range for defenders this year. I want to get a Man City defender in there. Now, Man City, again, is Russian roulette on who's going to start and who's going to be benched. But at 6 million, Ryan Aït-Nouri, new signing from Wolves, playing Wolves on opening day. That's just written in the stars, scripted for him to get a goal or assist right there. I like that pick at 6 mil. Aït-Nouri's pretty much been in all of my drafts so far. I do really like that pick, and I think he should be nailed on that left side for Man City. If not, Gvardiol is probably definitely nailed on. And we actually have way more money to play with than I expected. Maybe we can upgrade one of these midfielders to an even better attacking option. I just realised I've ignored my club, Liverpool. So let's fix that right now with going with another 6 million defender. Let's go with, where is he? My man, Frimpong. I think Frimpong's going to be great for us this year. Liverpool are just solid defensively. We should be good in the defensive regard. Let's make those transfers, confirm our team, see how we line up, because I've put way too many players in there. So we've got Morgan Rogers and Livramento on the bench. And yeah, we've got money to play with still. Let's see what we can change. 3.5 mil left in the bank despite the elite forward line that we have. Let's take out Savinho for now, because I said I was concerned about rotation with Man City. That gives us 10.5 for a new midfielder. Obviously, we could upgrade our goalkeeper too. Let's check the midfielders though. Around 10.5. We can even put in Cole Palmer. That's our 3 Chelsea players done now with Enzo, Palmer, Colwill. I guess though we can afford one nice midfielder. Let's talk about Liverpool's new signing, Florian Wirtz. 8.5 million. That's a lot of money. I think Wirtz could be sensational for us this year. He could play in the number 10. He could play as a false 9. I think regardless of where he plays, Wirtz is going to get us points at 8.5 mil. That is a nice option. I can't end this video though without talking about Manchester United. New signings, Bryan Mbeumo, 8 million. I've mentioned him a lot already in today's video. Before though, I mentioned with Gyokeres, the concern was his penalty goals being taken away by Bukayo Saka. Bryan Mbeumo, 20 goals, 9 assists last season. I can't remember the exact stat, but he scored a lot of pens last year in Mbeumo. He's not going to take them at United. You'd imagine it's going to be Bruno Fernandes with that role. At 9 mil, I don't like that price point for Bruno. I can't lie. If he was 8.5, I might consider. 9 mil though, I'm ruling Bruno out completely. However, Matheus Cunha at 8 million, I like that price point. I can't lie. I like what Man United have going on with this new season. I hate to say it as a Liverpool fan, but their team is looking like it might cook this year. And I want to put Cunha in the team at 8 million, but I don't trust Man United. I don't trust Ruben Amorim. So what we're going to do instead for our expensive midfield slot, we're putting in Florian Wirtz. Let's go triple Liverpool. But again, the problem arises if we do sign Alexander Isak. One of these players has got to go, Ekitike or Wirtz. And I think for me, it'll be Wirtz out, probably Cunha in, as we've just mentioned. But yeah, man, I'm liking the look of this team. And we still have 2 million in the bank. Realistically, we could play 4 of these defenders with the 5 midfield and the 3 up front. The only bad option here is Luke O'Nien, who's not even going to play for 2 months. What we can even do is upgrade our goalkeeper. Put in Vicario from Spurs. He only got 60 points last year. 24 starts, 4 clean sheets. But Spurs have a nice run of fixtures. We can get a 5 mil keeper, still have 1.5 in the bank to play with. This team looks crazy. What am I missing? I guess just Salah, Palmer and Haaland, isn't it? But if you abandon those premium top elite level options, but look at this forward line, Isak, Gyokeres, that's crazy. But look at the team that you can build if you do avoid that. Nobody really left in the team as a rotation risk. Again, maybe Ekitike, but if he doesn't play, our first sub is Morgan Rogers, which I'm not mad at. But that's a sensational team, in my opinion, in that draft. You might have some problems arise with captaincy. You know, usually if you want to get a high rank in FPL, you've got to follow the crowd. And it's always Haaland or Salah that gets the most captains in a game week. But let's see, game week 1, who do you go with here for captain? Okay, that's a tough one for the game week 1 captain with this team. But game week 2, you're going to have Gyokeres Leeds at home. That's an easy captain right there. If Isak does move to us, Bournemouth at home, game week 1, that's an easy captain right there. But I am a big fan of this draft, and we still have 1.5 in the bank to play with. We could even change Enzo to an 8 million midfielder like Cunha, like somebody we've already mentioned there. Or, I mean, we can't now, but we could take out Florian Wirtz. We can put in Cole Palmer and then just put our keeper back to a 4.5 mil. Like Marmadashvili, I don't know why it put him in there, but still. Even that's an attractive team. And then you have Palmer covered. You just don't have Salah or Haaland, which is the scary part. But that team is solid, in my opinion. There's no weak points. Let me know what you think of this team in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the forward line. Do you like Isak as an option if he moves to Liverpool? Or even if he stays at Newcastle, is he a good option? What do you think about Gyokeres? How many goals do you think he'll get this season? Ekitike, is he a good option? Is this a gamble? I'm willing to take that gamble low. I'm all in. Shout out my boy Adventure Time. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and catch the next video when it goes live. Also, check out my FIFA series, bro. If you're into virtual football like FPL, you might be into FIFA too. I run the most electrifying, I've got to be quiet so I can't shout it like usual. The most electrifying career mode in YouTube history, bro. Check that playlist, check the FPL playlist, and get yourself up to date. A lot more videos dropping before the deadline on my birthday of August 15th. Our link is down below to join my league. Come and join the nameless FPL league. We've already got a bunch of people in here. Shout out to everyone on the screen. Hey, we've got a lot more people in here than I thought. Just shout out to everyone, bro, who's in already. But make sure you stay tuned for more FPL analysis, more real life sports analysis. NFL season's back soon. Got me feeling nicey, bro. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibe. Dreamers country. Let's ride.